I always say they have to be an octopus on roller skates or and a multitasking ninja. You know, I actually, both those things, you have to be those things. And people don't even understand when I say that. They go, what do you mean by that? And I said, oh, you'll figure that out in a minute.
Yeah, an octopus on roller skates. I'm going to use that. That's good. Yeah, you're holding a baby, you're answering a phone, you're responding to someone right in front of you, you're getting someone else's kid out from under somewhere else. But that's the really fun part, right? If we hire people that truly are like people persons that love people. Now, that doesn't have to mean that you're the most extroverted human, because there's different roles that require different skill sets. But at the heart of it all, I think in almost every position on a team, there has to be a true love for people. Hello, and welcome to Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. This podcast is dedicated to chiropractors who are in the seasons of launching and building their practice. Join myself, Dr. Lona, and my co-host, Dr. Bobby, as we have conversations each week as it relates to building the practice of your dreams. And remember, you can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. We're here to lead you on the way. Welcome back to Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. And it is my honor today. We are going to learn from someone who has been training teams for over 2 decades and is definitely a warrior for chiropractic, because we can't do it alone. So welcome, Lori Morgan. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It's an honor to be on.
That's awesome. And we were just saying, I was telling her that I'm actually down at Sherman College this last couple of days. So we've been with a lot of women chiropractors and young chiropractors who are going to be opening their first offices pretty shortly here. Nice. And so we want to have this conversation today about bringing on team members and doing it successfully and making it a great relationship, because you're really, as I said to the women yesterday, I'm like, you know, when you say it takes a village, not only having a family, but it takes a village to run a successful high volume chiropractic practice. So Lori, I know you know all about that. So my first question to you is just first of all, tell our listeners a little bit about your history and how long you've been doing this.
Hi. So I was a CA in a high volume practice for 13 years, ran the front desk, learned everything there was to know about patient coordination and appreciation in life. And during that time as a chiropractic assistant, I spent a lot of my own time and energy going to seminars, learning from the best. I got to hear Sigafus on stage many times, Charlie Ward, John DeMartini, Pat Gentempo. So my chiropractic CA experience was that. So very unique and totally blessed to have been in that space. Yeah. So it changed me. It turned me into something different than the job I thought I was going to be hired for, which was a receptionist, right?
I just want to pause right there, because your doc brought you along to these amazing experiences. Yes. And then you also sought it out yourself.
Yes. My doc took me once, and it was Parker Seminar back in the day when it was awesome and philosophy and everything. Then after I did that once, I went into that space and I knew that this was something I was going to do for the rest of my life. I just knew it. I had never been in a room of people that loved what they did so much, the power and the passion, and that just going forward a little bit. That's why I love TRP, because when I walked in that room, it was that same thing, that power and that passion. And I thought, wow, here we are again. And I continued to go on my own, because I knew that it was what was best for me. And then I could bring that back to my practice, but their practice, and help them to realize the importance of embracing that and giving our people that 5-star experience, and knowing that we want this to be for life, right? And if we don't teach our practice members that this is life and this should be part of their healthy lifestyle, then they just come and go. And it's not ideal. We don't. And then back in that day, in the early 90s, right, there was a real strong core philosophy in chiropractic. And so that, I believe, was my calling, was to bring that back. And then, again, happened to have Dr. Charlie Ward, who I'd been watching on stage for years, call me up. Say, hey, Lori, my name's Charlie Ward, and I would like to know if you'd like to come meet with me. And I'm
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how that started. He hired me, interviewed me for about 6 hours in his home, hired me to be a CA coach. That was in 2001. At that time, he had about 200 clients, so I was in charge of the teams, and I just flourished from there. And it was the best experience I've ever had to have him as my mentor, teach me and guide me. And he truly turned me into the person I am today, nurtured me, taught me, and for him, I will always be grateful.
That's beautiful. I want to underline something you said, and you corrected it, but I think it was right the first time when you said I came back to, and I wanted to bring that back to my practice, right? And then you're like, their practice, right? And I think something's beautiful about when we practice together, right? Where it's not this hierarchy of my practice, your practice, et cetera. Like that naturally happens where I think everyone takes ownership of the outcomes and the family culture of like, truly spreading your arms and bringing more people into the fold of chiropractic and how it changes your life.
Right.
So I always tell my team, like when we start hearing a new hire say ours and, we, like, I'm like, yes, like
Right.
what we want. Right. So I love that you said that. Okay. You've had a lot of street cred here in watching teams develop and doing this thing called chiropractic together. And I want to ask you, like, in those teams that get it right, or they have that magical something that allows them then to serve more people, what are some of the things you look for that you're like, yes, if I could teach someone something, this is some of the magic sauce that brings it all together.
Right. It's really important, and I don't think it's emphasized enough in our profession. You have to hire the right people first. Sometimes chiropractors get in a panic mode. I just need
Yes.
someone. I need someone to sit in the seat. I need someone to answer the phones. I just need someone. Hurry up, get me someone. And we all know that that is an epic fail because we don't need someone. We need the person.
Yes.
And so taking the time to hire, whatever that means, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, I don't know, but it has to be precise and specific to that loving service heart that we're seeking. We have to find that person. I can teach you anything. If I have the right person with the intention and the love and the service and the want to go and do it all, I can teach you how to answer a phone correctly.
Yes.
Right? I can teach you how to check someone in and out, but I need that special someone. And that is definitely something that is not always followed through with.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And so finding that one person and then having them, they're already the right person to go all in with you because you vetted them and you've made sure they're of that. And so then they become part of your vision and part of your purpose. And as we teach the stuff, right, we also teach the philosophy and the why. Because if they understand the why and they start getting adjusted and their life starts changing as well, right? Because that does happen. They're like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? This is great. And so as they develop, then they also have their own testimony to help our practice members to guide them to say, you know what, I had no idea either. And look at me now, right? And so it's really important to find that right person. The training is absolutely a must.
Right.
And there again, not in TRP, but out there in the world, doctors aren't taking the time to train. And this job is hard. It's hard. There's a lot. And if I'm saying, here you go sit in that chair and go answer the phone and have fun, good luck, it doesn't work. And then I get freaked out. I'm stressed out. I said, I'm not very good at this job. I need to leave. And then there's that turnover and turnover and turnover. The training has to happen and it has to be thorough and it has to be long, which is why we do that onboarding, right? The 12-week onboarding for new CAs, because there's a lot.
Yes.
And if I'm expected just to hope I understand it and get it, I'm freaked out. I'm going to go. This is too hard for me. But if I'm guided and nurtured and given the tools I need and I get it, one thing I'm going to learn, and then next week I'm going to learn something else, and then the next week. And so pretty soon I'm going, oh, I'm really good at that. And so it's a process. And it has to be a process. And I know doctors, we're all busy. right? And the doctors say, well, who has time to do that? Well, it's worth your time, because
Yes.
even if you take a certain amount of time a day at the beginning, it's going to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Lord, you just gave us so much gold already in this. Uh, so I hope anyone that's listening can just double back. Everything she has said, I think is worth its weight to just really sit with that for a little bit. Like, when have I tried to force a hire? When have I hired out of need instead of really feeling like this is a hell yes, like this person gets the vision, I get my vision. Let's just even start there. Like, do I have a clear vision that a team can rally around? Do I have a clear vision for this role and why it's needed? And I think that's offline before we hit record, we were saying, like, just trust in the universe, trust what happens, right? And sometimes we will fail forward faster, right? You hire poorly and it unearths some things you did improperly as the leader or as improperly in your training, and you become clearer and you have better vision then, and you hire better the next time. So you can't get it wrong, but it can be painful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know how much it costs to practice. Turnover is expensive.
Yeah, for sure it is. And expensive not only with finances, expensive energetically for everyone.
Right.
Yeah, that was great. And to your point, I agree with you that if that person lights up with the heart of what we're doing, the real mission, and maybe they don't get it yet, like because they haven't had their own chiropractic experience yet, but they can feel that something's different in this culture, that, Dr. Franson always says heart, head, hands, feet, right? If
Right.
the heart is right, then we can get the logic in place and we can figure out the how to. And to your point where you said, I can train you on anything, I believe that's true. And I also think really understanding that not only is there a lot to learn about your position, it's the speed at which it comes at you sometimes
Yeah.
too. I think in a chiropractic practice that we can lose sight of truly how much capacity a person has to have to just
Right.
hold the energy in the front at the rate at which you are having people's stuff come at you in a beautiful way, but also it's intense.
I always say they have to be an octopus on roller skates or and a multitasking ninja. You know, I actually, both those things, you have to be those things. And people don't even understand when I say that. They go, what do you mean by that? And I said, oh, you'll figure that out in a minute.
Yeah, an octopus on roller skates. I'm going to use that. That's good. Yeah, you're holding a baby, you're answering a phone, you're responding to someone right in front of you, you're getting someone else's kid out from under somewhere else. But that's the really fun part, right? If we hire people that truly are like people persons that love people. Now, that doesn't have to mean that you're the most extroverted human, because there's different roles that require different skill sets. But at the heart of it all, I think in almost every position on a team, there has to be a true love for people. Yeah.
And
Okay.
a true love for what you're doing. I mean, you have to, it has to be, thank goodness it's Monday, not thank goodness it's Friday, right? We can't wait to get there. We can't wait to see what the day holds, what the week holds, what miracles are we going to see today. And teaching, I say that a lot in my trainings, because I want new CAs to understand that it's a purpose. It's a reason. I believe you're called to be here. If you're truly, I believe I was called, even though I answered a receptionist job and came from the Kmart. I was called to do this because it's become my life. It's in my soul, and I always thought I'd be a teacher. I just didn't know what that looked like, what that meant, right? And so to be a teacher in this profession, it's a blessing beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And I set my mind to it, and I knew that it was going to be something I set my mind to. And as soon as I wrote my goals that year, January in 2001, I want to do something bigger. I want to do something bigger. In February, Dr. Charlie Ward called me on the phone. That's not
Random.
That's not a coincidence.
No, no. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's good. You are a true blessing. Like, and you can feel your energy towards chiropractic, towards what you do through a computer. I feel like I've got chills several times as you're talking right now.
You've seen me at the immersions, Dr. Lona.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great. We need more of that. When you think about people who maybe haven't hired well previously, they have a pattern of not doing this. I would love your take on this. One thing I I think sometimes we sell ourselves short as the doctor that owns the practice, where we might not really look at the CA yet as a career that is like, I want to hire someone that sees this as their career path, wants to be with this practice for many, many years.
Right.
So maybe you could speak into that a little bit, because that's one thing I've noticed, that sometimes there's a headspace where they just think like, oh, I'll hire someone, they might stay with me for a couple of years and then they leave, right? And it's like, yeah, probably because you're not painting the vision that this can be a true career path. And your vision isn't big enough to see how that could be accomplished too.
Correct. And I believe that that's most chiropractors' mindset. I'd be lucky to get a CA for a couple of years.
Yes.
Right. I've had so much turnover. I'd be lucky to have 2 years out of someone. And that's a common, when I talk to chiropractors, I always say, why do you say that? Why not ask when we're interviewing, what are your 2-year goals, my 5-year goals? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? I want to know that. Well, I'm going off to college and I'm going to be a nurse. Well, when we're not going to hire that person, you understand that? I don't want that temporary, I don't want to pass through. And when I'm interviewing, I always say that to the group. If this is a pass through for you to get some knowledge to go on to something else, please just tell me that, because this is not what we're looking for. I love that you want to learn and grow, but I want someone here who wants to do this for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And the only reason a CA would leave is to become a chiropractor. And that's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah. I was just going to add that in, unless you're leaving
so
for chiropractic.
Go to chiropractic school. Okay, you're good. I got you.
And we expect you back in about 4 years.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
Which does happen.
Right.
That absolutely does happen.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. And so one thing I've noticed in myself is, as my team has expanded, I've had several brick and mortars, and we also have a unique practice that happens in our school district. So my team is larger than I ever began believing it would become, right? And now I, of course, have my own vision, but if I didn't have the team also kind of percolating in the pot, their visions, as well as their appetites for like growth and possibility, is certainly, it allows me to step into like probably a bigger leadership and a bigger vision than I ever would have had if I didn't know, hey, I've got this A player team and they're not going to want to sit back on their haunches, because that is why people leave, that they don't believe that there's more growth available for them. Would you agree?
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And most people, if you hire that person we've talked about, they want to grow. They want to thrive. They want to be busy. There's people that just want to be busy. If I don't have time to sit down or run and sit down and eat a half a sandwich, why, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good. I just want to be thriving in my environment. And when there's nothing going on, I'm bored.
Yes.
And you want someone who looks for things to do, but it's better to keep them doing things than have to have them look for things. Right.
Yep.
So it's really, it's a fine line for sure. And then some people come into an environment like that, they don't even know they thrive in that. And then all of a sudden they're in it and they go, woo, wow, this is fun.
Yeah.
I thought I was having fun and busy at my last job. This is really fun. And what's great about it, it's a different vibe. The vibration in a chiropractic practice is different than if someone came from a medical model.
Oh, yeah.
And so they bring this empathy and compassion from this medical model, which is great. But we teach them that, having strong leadership and assertiveness and loving the people you do and guiding them on this journey to health, because we are taking them on a journey to health. And us as chiropractic assistants have a huge role in that journey. We're cheerleading them. We're making sure we call them if they miss their appointments. We're guiding them on their care plan. We're explaining to them why they shouldn't miss, why one adjustment builds off the last. And, you want to get the best results in the shortest amount of time possible so that you can just go live your best life. Right. And so we're teaching that as CAs, and it's important that CAs are educated to be able to educate people, because if I don't know what to say when, or what somebody says to me and I don't have an answer, I know at the beginning I'm not going to have an answer, but I'm going to say, great question, Mrs. Jones, let me find out about that. And I'm going to bring that back to you. And pretty soon they know what to say. And when I know what to say, trust me when I say more people ask me stuff. because the universe knows I got them.
Yep.
And same thing with referrals. If I'm sitting on a plane, people feel me. They want to know why I feel like this. Who are you? And why are you so happy on this plane? This is miserable. And let me tell you why, right? I'm heading to a conference. I just came back from a conference. And so here I am in chiropractic land. And I turn people on to chiropractic in airplanes all the time because I'm passionate.
Magnetic.
Know that if they ask me a question, I got you.
Yeah.
And I want my CAs to develop into that, to have that confidence.
Yeah.
And to advocate. We want them to advocate for this profession.
Yeah.
Because if we're not telling the story, who's telling it?
Amen. Oh, for sure. All right, Laura, maybe this is my last big question for you is, as you've seen the trajectory of chiropractic, I'm sure change over the last 25, 30 years of being immersed in it. What are you hopeful about right now? What feels like in this era right now? I think COVID helped us immensely with people waking up to more of our foundational truths. But I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great time to be in this profession with all of the evolution that's happening, Bobby Kennedy, all of that. That's huge for us.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that I'm here for that.
Yes.
So, I just love that. So I know that our time is now, finally. And people are going to start realizing that, all of the stuff that they've taught to believe have been lies. And then we have this truth that we've always told. We've never wavered from the truth.
Right.
Our philosophy has never changed. In all the 100+ years, it's never changed. It's always been this. Our bodies were made to heal. We are awesome. We have everything we need within us. We just need no interference. And we have never swayed from that truth.
Yes.
So when we have a truth that's as solid as that, and now we have all of these things around us coming into our truth, woo, it's powerful. And I'm excited and I can't wait. And I love it. And I'm not I told you so kind of person. I'm not that person, but I am who I am, and I've never swayed from that. And now people are coming up to me and saying, Lori, I should have listened to you. I used to think you were kind of weird, and
yeah,
my own family members are talking to me about this stuff, and I was like, you were probably right, and I wish I would have heard you. And I said, I wish you would have heard me too, because but at least you're hearing me now.
Yes.
Right. At least we're hearing, and it's not that they heard it from me, because they'd always heard it from me. Now they're hearing it from other sources that they trust.
Yep.
More than they trusted me in this
right
world.
Yep.
Because I was the different one. And yay for us.
Yes.
Yay.
I agree with you. And your heart, like, you can again feel that you're right. It's not a like I told you, right? It's just like firmly planted in the truth. And now, as we've watched so many layers get pulled back so rapidly in the last 5 years too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, my hands are going like this. Like, there's this so much opportunity for us to keep speaking our truth in a more rich environment than ever. Right. So yes, I think, more time to build a team around you for sure, because you're going to.
And I think people have opened their hearts a little bit, and their minds mostly, their minds more than their hearts. Go out and do a talk.
Yep.
Wherever that is. People are going, okay, that makes sense now based on what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And so it's a great time to be a chiropractor. It's always been a great time to be a chiropractor, forever. But this is a really powerful time. And the chiros that embrace that, who go all in with this right now, the chiropractic offices that stayed open during COVID, the ones that just said, heck no, we're not, people need me now. Those are the people that they're just going to see this whole, because now people are really going to start hearing them.
Yep.
And understanding them in more of a way, not understanding, but open to the idea.
Yep. I believe so too. All right, Lori, I know you train in our 12-week, new CA, but probably great for every CA based on the fact that this 30 minutes is amazing. Everyone should listen to it. So how do people find you? How do they get into that 90-day? Tell us a little bit about getting connected with you.
So if they reach out to TRP, and maybe just even if you ask Patty, who I know, Emily, Emily's great she has all the information, and she like I said, I love that new CAs come into the training, but what happens is we're back to basics. It's all fundamentals, and everything builds on that core, right?
Yep.
Those fundamentals all have to get solid on those. So whether you've been a brand new CA or been in the TRP office for 5-10 years, you're going to come back and you're going to revisit things. And you're going to go, oh,
Yeah.
we used to do that. Oh, I used to say it like that. I forgot. And so it kind of just does re-stimulate what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
And so Emily Hall, she has all of that info, and yeah, I love it. I love spending that hour every week. A lot of CAs are getting involved in it, and it's if they can get one thing, one thing an hour,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, and if you're listening to this and you're not a TRP client yet, in our show notes, drop in there, schedule a strategy session. Let's talk about your practice, and then let's get your CAs involved too, so that you all can be growing. And that will
I can promise any doctor outside of this world of TRP that is not a client yet, what an awesome group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of coaches out there right now. This is a core, philosophically based. It's just, I go around and look and I listen and I go to a lot of rooms. And as soon as I went into that room, I knew, especially my prior clients, I'm like, oh, y'all got to go, right? You have to go there. I don't even know how much it's so in line with the way we've been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And so go in there and get those leaders, Dr. Franson and Dr. Pete and everybody, you who get on stage, and Dr. Verana, it's the most powerful 2 days that they can spend. And then imagine having you as coaches just guide them and take them along to getting everything right. And I told Dr. Franson this, I was sitting by him and I said, I believe in my heart that you can't fail in this program. I don't think you can. You'd have to try really hard.
Or not try at all. Yeah.
Not try at all.
Yeah.
I don't think if you just did one thing, you'd still be better.
Yes.
Right? And I believe that in my soul. I'm like, it's like second to none. It's so in line with our purpose, and they're so aligned with our purpose, and from God, family, chiropractic, right? It's so fantastic. Right?
Thank you. Well, you're fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Really amazing that now you're part of the team, and I think we need to do a part 2 on this probably. I think we got to just keep pulling your wisdom out, because I know you've got a ton of it to share with us. So this was gold. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right. Well, Lori, we'll see you at the next immersion. Is that right?
Yes, we will. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, Remarkables, let me ask you, can you imagine generating more than 600 qualified new patient leads per month? How about seeing 183 new patients in 1 month? Imagine your practice generating more than $100,000 a week in collections, on track to doing over $5 million this year. Sound impossible? Well, those are the real results that TRP's own Dr. Bobby Ilyajozovic is enjoying as we speak. Those are his July numbers, and August is going to be even better. Coach Bobby has been a new patient generation machine for nearly 10 years. I know, because I've been coaching him since day one, but now he is going totally bionic. He has cracked the code on new patient generation, and he is ready to share it all with you guys. Do you want to get in on this? Join us for the annual Remarkable Attraction Marketing Immersion, October 10th and 11th in Phoenix, Arizona, and October 24th and 25th in Adelaide, Australia. Coach Bobby will be walking you and your team through every step of his Remarkable Lead Machine system. Click the link in the show notes below and register your team now. But Dr. Bobby's sessions are only one of the reasons that you and your team need to be at the Remarkable Attraction Immersion. Let me ask you, have you started using AI to drive new patients into your practice yet? There's a new era in marketing that's powered by AI, and it's creating a surge of new patients for docs that know how to leverage it. Don't miss this wave. Our team of experts will show you exactly how the most successful marketers are using AI to generate record numbers of new patient leads in internal marketing, external marketing, and of course, digital marketing. Have you developed a fully leveraged marketing machine where you'll have total confidence that you'll predictably smash your goals month after month after month? Stop leaving tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table due to lackluster internal new patient referrals. Stop wasting time and spinning your wheels trying to figure out how to get butts and seats for your outside speaking events. Stop throwing good money after bad on digital marketing. That's just not working. Doc, you should be seeing a 5 times to 10 times ROI on your marketing dollars. Our clients are crushing this. This weekend seminar will feature a 3-track format focusing on optimizing your internal, external, and digital lead generation. 9 breakout sessions in total, with a special emphasis on best practices leveraging AI for all of them. Bring your team. Everyone in your practice is a marketer. Let us inspire and equip them to help you fill your schedule book with more qualified new patients. Join us for the annual Remarkable Attraction Marketing Immersion, October 10th and 11th in Phoenix, Arizona, and October 24th and 25th in Adelaide, Australia. Click the link in the show notes here or go to the remarkablepractice.com events page and register your team today.
Hey everyone, please listen in for this next bonus interview of one of our remarkable success partners. They all help us help more people find the benefits of chiropractic, so listen on.
Welcome everyone. So with me today, I have Dr. Adrian, the creator and the master of the Denneroll. We've been with him for years. We've been using the Denneroll for years for our practice, our patients for getting great outcomes. However, he is such a great chiropractor. He's such a great practitioner, but at the same time, he is out there to help people, help more people. And the way he does that is through the Denneroll. So I don't want to put too many words into your mouth, Dr. Adrian, but if you could speak a little bit about yourself and what you do, would be absolutely amazing.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me to share my journey, and that's helped a lot of people. And that's right. If I can continue to help more people and help practitioners help their patients, then it's a privilege to be able to do so. What can I say? Like, becoming a chiropractor was a great honor and privilege and itself. And then as soon as I got into practice, I would see that people would have imbalances, mainly like with their forward head posture and their cervical spine. And we would adjust them, but it just made sense to me that while those imbalances were there, the problems would be cyclical and they would just keep coming back. And I was like, what do you do for that? And so for a forward head posture or a poor neck curve where you've got C2 well in front of C7, that's putting a lot of stress that we know on the nervous system and the muscles and the spine. We would do soft tissue work on the muscles, and we would adjust the joints and give them exercises, but we would find when there was that stiffness in the spine, it wasn't changing and the problems would be repetitive. So people were saying, get them to lie on a roll towel, which felt maybe therapeutic, but I didn't feel like it was going to be effective enough to make the changes that they might need. So I started making my own sort of neck rolls just as a more effective version of a roll towel, and ended up coming up with the Denneroll. And the front section here makes it really stable. Your shoulders anchor it down, and that stops from tipping and sliding. And then I made the top very narrow, so it could be really effective in bending into extension that you need. And then we had this back section here, which would reinforce the top and stop it from collapsing. And those 3 keys are what makes the Denneroll so effective. And my patients really loved it. I trialed it over several different designs, and this is what we came up with. And I kept seeing really good results from my patients. And then I asked other chiropractors in my spare time, would they like to try it for theirs? And eventually I started looking up to why it was effective. And we did some research, and it showed that it was so effective that we could see a positional change in the bones of the spine straight after using the Denneroll off one use. So it was effective enough to get through the musculature and into the ligaments and the joints, which is very therapeutic in many ways. And that's where it sort of started. I met the science of chiropractic biophysics, but we started analyzing, and starting to measure the ways we can actually help patients. And patients love it. You give it to them and you explain it to them. They understand their posture and their spine, and it gives them something to do and something to take home. And it makes them more involved in their care. And, there's nothing worse as a patient than feeling like you're a bit helpless and your problems are cyclical. So it sort of empowers them and keeps them involved. And we do this in a combination with different exercises. And they're lying on this for 5 to 10 minutes and working their way up to about 20 minutes. And so it's so simple to use, and it allows them to feel like they can contribute to the benefits that they're going to get in their chiropractic care. It'll never replace an adjustment, but together it works really well. And then
That's
you add that with yeah, you add that with exercises, and they're really happy. And sometimes we stage those when they're ready to do those exercises, and we have ones like these bands that go around the back of your neck, and they also promote the effectiveness of the Denneroll, but also help strengthening the results of what you can achieve. And you just put this behind your neck, and you're going to look up, and you're going to start to pulse backwards and do exercise like this. So it's something as simple as that, and this, and getting your chiropractic adjustments straight away. You've added a couple of extra dimensions to chiropractic care that they may not have received before. And the easy thing is that it's so simple to use. It's quick, and if I'm showing them how to do an exercise, I would like to get their phone and I film them with their phone while I instruct them. And then straight away, when they go home, they've got it there for them. So they've got that assistance. So it's giving them that home care support. And also it's something they can use in office too when they're coming in. If they're in early and they're waiting to be adjusted, they go online with Denneroll or they do their exercises.
that's one of the big things. Like
Yeah.
you touched on so many good points, and what we found is one of the really, really good ones that you mentioned was people feel like they're not doing anything between. They feel helpless, right? Like I'm only just relying on the chiropractic care. But most people, us included, we always want to be involved. We want to do things to help support ourselves. So I find that the Denneroll is such a great inclusion because it gives people a clear, sound strategy of how it works, what it needs, what they need to do to get the outcomes that they want. And it's just so simple, and it's like you said, easy to understand.
Yeah.
Helps the service, helps align the service. Can't say the word. Helps align the curvature of your spine, right? And I know there's cervical Denneroll, there's a thoracic, there's the lumbar. There's a lot more details that we can go into a bit later. But the other thing I want to touch on as well is the fact that it complements into practice so easily.
Yeah.
And no other place other than chiropractors that do have the Denneroll, they've never seen anything else like it. That's what makes it so unique.
Yeah. And simple to use, and implement. But it's never going to replace an adjustment, and getting adjusted first can really help make your Denneroll time on the Denneroll easier. Some people are quite challenged in it. And by challenged, meaning that they're just putting their neck into extension. And that's right. There is ones for the mid back. So when people are too hunched, we want to create extension there. And then in the lower back, when they're slouching a lot or sitting at a desk a lot, their lower back can start to flatten out. So we have these effective extension blocks that are different shapes for different regions of your spine to get that extension back in. And then we support that with the exercises. One of the great things has been the research that's been involved, that people have done. It's okay if we get those changes, but what are the real benefits of that? And we've been able to measure, we know that your nervous system fires faster and stronger. And then when we know that your range of motion improves, we know that you get reduced muscle tension, like in response, you become less sensitive to trigger point pain. We know it helps with long-term outcomes when we do make changes from anything from vertigo to headaches to chronic discogenic symptoms. We look at respiratory improvements with thoracic, when we improve thoracic hyperkyphosis. There's so much research. And we even have one looking at blood flow to the brain, which was amazing. So, all these things are pretty powerful, and they're really good key points where you can talk about how your spine and structure is affecting your health. And so that's one thing sometimes that people don't understand is that, we don't want to talk too mechanistically to them, but we want to understand how it's impacting their health and impacting their lifestyle. So, you can find which part of the lifestyle that you think you're being impeded with, and you can understand how this is going to help benefit you get back to doing those things that you love to do.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
so
And once they know that, then they're really motivated. Yeah. And yeah, they just feel really good about it.
And one of the things that I'll ask them, like for all our listeners today, they may be asking, I haven't heard of Denneroll before. I've tried Denneroll before. Let's say that, we know nothing about it, but I want to know more. I want to find out more about Denneroll. I want to incorporate it into my practice. What would that look like? How would that look like? If you can speak into that a bit more as well, Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing you do as a practitioner, you would email info@denneroll.com, and our team would help them understand what products are available. And then I'm there for technical assistance. And the other thing is about anywhere from 2 to 4 times a year, I run Denneroll training days where they can come for 8 hours. They get formal learning points, and we go through all of the research and how to streamline the clinical implementation of the Dennerolls, and how to know really what benefits that you can be sure the best way to explain it to patients, and what you can promise them, because people do get varied structural changes with X-ray. When you're doing re-X-rays, some people change really well, and some people really don't change much at all, and that can be create a lack of confidence in knowing what things you can deliver for the patients. But what we know is that there are lots of reasons for that, but there are lots of functional benefits that you're going to get along the way. So when I see a patient that has an imbalance in their spine and posture, what I understand is that, okay, we understand that stretching your spine in the right direction is going to be a healthy addition to your chiropractic care that you're receiving in office, and then combined with exercises. And it's going to give you functional benefits of X, Y, and Z, range of motion, posture, all these things, reducing injuries, those things. And if we can make some corrective changes in your spine, that's going to give us better longer term outcomes, because some people, they actually have some changes in their spine that you can't correct, right? So they're going to need to use the Dennerolls for general maintenance. That's going just as a healthy tool forever. It's something that they do, like brushing your teeth.
That's right.
And if you're not doing that, their spine can get worse over time. So what we're trying to do at least is maintain it at a healthy position. And if we can change it, even better, but we don't want it to get worse. Yeah. And so these are the different things. We did some research we had 570 patients take part, and they varied their use of the Denneroll. Some did it 3 times a week, and some did it 7 days a week. Which ones do you think got the most changes?
The people that use them more.
Every day. That's right. So you might choose a program, or a patient might use the Denneroll for a maintenance for 3 times a week, or their maintenance could be 6 times a week. But one thing's for sure, if they're trying to make changes, we're going to try and ask them to even do it twice a day. And they're going to be diligent with that, and it's just such a fantastic thing that they can have to feel once again empowered in having a say in what outcomes they can achieve.
I love it. The last thing I'll say on that is you can, outside of the practice, like if they're in the practice, they're here to get adjusted. Once they leave, what's out there? Phones, technology, sitting, screens. So people are just constantly losing that lack of curvature, right? They're putting themselves into a stress state. So the Denneroll is just there as a great way to counteract that stress. Because I really think about it, and I say, outside of the practice, outside of getting adjusted, what else do you have that really helps bring back your neck curvature? What brings your neck back that supports that? Not really anything that I can think of. So I feel like it's very powerful. So guys, info@denneroll.com, email, get the information, incorporate it into your practice, and it flows so effectively. Like we go through boxes with you guys. We give it to every practice member that starts care with us, and people just get better outcomes. It's also a good revenue stream into the practice, but the key factor here is it's more about getting people great outcomes, because when people get great outcomes, they're going to stay on the care longer. They're going to refer more people. I'm sure you found that's works the exact same way for you, Doc.
I've had many patients get referred in because their friend had a Denneroll and they wanted to know what it was all about. Yeah, and then I would also do talks with trainers and gyms and explain to them where some of the functional impedance that their clients have are to do with their spine, and when they recognize that, they refer them in, and it works really well. Because one thing you do need to know is that when you're asking about what else can they do to make those changes, it's the ligaments. The ligaments get really stiff. And so when we have a nice healthy neck curve that starts to be lost, the ligaments in the front of the spine are quite stiff, and they don't change easy without an effective stretch. and there's got to be load over time. So just general exercise and even an adjustment hasn't proven to change that. Adjustments are vital in helping the restore the movement intersegmentally with each neighboring joint. But then if we want to make these changes to our ligaments, they need load over time. And that's a device that the Denneroll can be used in. So
Love it.
that's a really important key. If I see someone that was really hunched, but they had that flexibility, I would probably just recommend more exercises because they can make those changes. But if they're stiff and rigid, they're not going to get the changes they want. And there's some of the things you learn about when you come to my training days. So it's info@denneroll.com for general inquiries. If you want technical support, it's adrian@denneroll.com. I'm always welcome to talk to people. And if you can get to a training day, my staff will help you understand when they're on. My next one's August 24, but I think it's sold out, but I'm trying to run another one this year as well.
Love it, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, please click the links in the show notes to schedule a call.